What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventure 1994 here, and today is Sunday, August 27th, 2023, and I have this tropical update I want to share with you guys. So, we have Tropical Storm Idalia expected to make landfall in the panhandle of Florida or western Florida. I don't know. It turned into a tropical storm earlier today. It was Tropical Depression 10 yesterday, but now they have it as a tropical storm with 40 miles an hour winds. So it's expected to go into the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and it's expected to make landfall into the panhandle and western coast of Florida. Like somewhere around there, in this corner right here. It's expected to make landfall like right in this area. It's expected to become a hurricane once it gets into the Gulf waters, because the water in the Gulf of Mexico, as we all know, is extremely warm. So it causes hurricanes to intensify quickly, like any tropical system that enters into the Gulf. They intensify like very quickly. Like what happened with Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Ida, you name it. Whatever Gulf storm that approached the Gulf waters, they intensify pretty quickly because those waters are pretty warm. So it could make hurricanes intensify pretty quickly and become pretty deadly. So I'm pretty sure it'll become a hurricane pretty soon. Oh, sorry about that. That's Franklin. I'll talk about that after this one. So it's expected to cross over the west coast of Cuba and work its way into the Gulf. And then by 7 p.m. Tuesday, it's showing that it will become a hurricane once it's in the Gulf waters, and then it makes landfall in that little area right here of Florida. It's expected to become either a Cat 1 or a Cat 2 hurricane, what they're showing, but I don't know what its main magnitude intensity is going to be. I don't know the magnitude of the storm yet. I don't know what magnitude it's going to be. This is what they're showing for now, but it could become a major hurricane because, once again, when storms enter the Gulf, they intensify like more quickly. So I won't be surprised if this hurricane becomes a major hurricane once in contact with the Gulf waters. It's showing that it could either become a Cat 1 or a Cat 2 hurricane, but it might be stronger than that. They really don't know what the magnitude of the storm is going to be, as far as the path is concerned. But what we do know is that it's expected to make landfall as a hurricane in the western coast and panhandle of Florida as either a Cat 1 or a Cat 2 hurricane. Maybe a Cat 3, I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens. And then once it gets into Florida, it will start to weaken back down into a tropical storm. But it might still become a hurricane. It might still be a hurricane because they don't know what to expect yet. So it's expected to make landfall in Florida and then go past Georgia and then South Carolina and then North Carolina, and then it's expected to move out to sea once it gets into the North Carolina coastline. But this is what they're showing for now. Oh, excuse me. It's the moist getting into my lens. So as I was saying, once it leaves the coast of North Carolina, it's expected to move out to sea as a tropical storm. But this is what they're showing for now. That path could change. Who knows? It might shift west and then threaten the northeast. I don't know what to expect from this thing. I don't know what to rule out yet, but we have to really watch this thing because it's going to be threatening for many. Because this thing could still shift west and then threaten the Northeast US. And we all know that area is like the most popular area in the United States. It could shift west and turn right up into the Northeast and threaten the states that don't really prepare for hurricanes, like New York and New England states. But they're not showing it right here. It's expected to leave out into the Atlantic once it passes North Carolina. Yeah, I don't know what the magnitude of a tropical storm it's going to be once it's in North Carolina. But we have to keep an eye on this thing. So far, they only show it going into a hurricane status, but that could change. They don't know yet. It might turn into a major hurricane. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And if you guys are planning to go to Florida, it'd be smart to postpone your vacation till the storm is gone. And now let's go to Franklin. So, Franklin is forecast to become a major hurricane on Monday. Life-threatening surf and rip currents are possible along the east coast of the United States. So yeah, that's pretty common. When a storm leaves out into the Atlantic, like out to sea, it can still bring rip current threats to the eastern seaboard. Like rough surf. Like all along the eastern seaboard. So keep an eye out for that. So, it's expected to become a major hurricane by tomorrow. And it intensified into a hurricane yesterday, once it left the Dominican Republic on Wednesday. And it's showing that it's going to leave out to sea, but Bermuda has to keep a close eye on this thing because it could cross right over Bermuda. Bermuda's like the main area that has to be on high alert for this thing. I'm pretty sure hurricane warnings will be issued for this area. As it's moving out into the Atlantic, it could be a serious threat to Bermuda with heavy rain and high winds. It's expected to cross Bermuda as a major hurricane. So there could be hurricane force winds along Bermuda. So if you guys live in Florida and Bermuda, you guys need to be on high alert for Idalia and Franklin. And same goes for you too, Cuba. And the rest of the Southeast. So we really have to watch these storms right now. And even though it's moving out to sea, there could still be a threat of rip current all along the east coast. I'm definitely expecting that by this week. And while the funny thing is, let's move on from Franklin and we turn our eyes to the Pacific. We have Tropical Storm Irwin that's going out to sea in the Pacific, and it's expected to stay as a tropical storm the whole time and then weaken back down to a depression by like the end of the week here. The funny thing is that we have two I named storms in both the Atlantic and the Pacific that just formed out today in both the oceans. But Irwin is no threat to anybody. It's just going to leave out into the Pacific and then weaken by the end of the week and stay as a tropical storm. But I don't know its intensity just yet. They're only showing it staying as a tropical storm, but it could peak into a hurricane briefly and then weaken back down. So, if you guys, for Idalia and Franklin, if you guys live in any of these areas, you need to be on high alert for both of these storms because it's going to get deadly. So, I guess that's it. And by the way, I will be making a second anniversary video for Hurricane Ida this Tuesday when it struck Louisiana there will be a second anniversary of Hurricane Ida's impacts. I'll make a video about that this Tuesday. So I guess that's it.